Good evening, everybody, and welcome to another sports presentation on TCR Troy Community Radio and the new 107.1 WTJN. Happy New Year, and Happy New Year to everybody out there. You know, it's the second half of the season, and we're getting things ready to get started here down at Bethel High School, where the Troy Christian Eagles are getting ready to take on the Bethel Bees. I'm Dave Fisher, Sports Director for TCR Sports, and my good friend, and Happy New Year, Doug Page.
Happy New Year to you, too.
We're about 3 seconds left here in the JV game, and it looks like it was getting close. And the Troy Christian Eagles was able to get away here in the JV game with the victory, 41-39. And we kind of thought maybe, Doug, that was going to go into overtime.
Lucky odds. Lucky Eagles.
Lucky Eagles, yes. They came back after about a 7-point deficit in that JV game to get a victory. But the problem at hand is Troy Christian has been on a skid here over the last 3 ball games, and they're coming in here and going to play against a very good Bethel B team.
Well, Bethel certainly is a buzz over this year's edition of the Bees.
Yes.
And with good reason. The Bees are 7-2 overall in the very tough, always tough
CCC.
Ross County Conference. First-year coach Brent Coop says his team may be young, but his 5 starters all had playing experience last year. It's an athletic team that loves to run up and down the court. So we're going to have our work. You're going to have your work cut out for
Yes,
you.
I am.
I'm just going to take little snoozes here until I hear the whistle. Offensively, the Bees operate off ball screens and ISOs in the paint or out on the perimeter. That capitalizes on their athleticism and their length, and we'll get to their length here in a few minutes. Says Kopp, we're teaching them to pass up a good shot to get the ball to a player with a great shot. Well, that makes sense. The Bees are led by sophomore point guard Caleb South. Hello. He's averaging just over 25 points a game, which is good in anybody's league. Says his coach, and I'm quoting here, he's the ignition. He gets us in our offense. He can score. Yeah, we knew that. But he's also the guy that'll make the pass to the man with that great shot. Well, that's pretty good strategy.
Absolutely.
Defensively, the Bees rely on, can we say swarm?
Yes, you can.
Okay,
here.
a
Yes, you
swarming man-to-man defense. But when the need arises, Kopp will send the swarm into a zone, be that a trapping half court or full court. And we've seen where Troy Christian has some issues with a zone trap.
Yes.
Now to that length I was talking about. You got 6'4" Tyler Terry, 6'3" Ian Anderson, and 6'7" Evan Hawthorne, who, by the way, is the striker. You know, the guy that goes like this?
Yes.
He's a striker on the men's volleyball team. Cope says in these 3, he's got the perfect trifecta of long athletic players who can find the basket and also defensively deny a shot. Add to that Nate Rimkus. Coach calls him the best shooter on the team and perhaps the best defender. Now the Bees open the season with 5 straight victories, but then they hit a rough patch and lost 2 in a row just before Christmas.
Right.
One of those losses was to, as we have seen, a very good Yellow Springs basketball team. They lost by 7 points. Yellow Springs easily handled the Eagles by 14 before Christmas. In that game, Kopp says the Bees were a miserable 3 of 18 in the first half in the paint. That has to hurt a lot. But since then, they've run off 2 back-to-back victories. Says the coach, those losses really woke us up. And I think he really means that Yellow Springs. I guess you could say the beehive got disturbed.
Yes, a little bit.
And you know what happens when that occurs. You get stung. I'm sorry, I couldn't help myself.
Well, you know, one thing you talk about, you know, Evan Hawthorne, he's got a very good pedigree here at Bethel High School. His sister his mother is the sister of Steve Pytel, that was the football coach here at Bethel. Also graduated a year ahead of me and was a very, very good basketball player in his own right, not only as a football player. So, Evan Hawthorne has a very good pedigree as far as an athletic family. Not only that, his mother was also a very good basketball player. So this Evan Hawthorne can play the game.
Well, speaking of the good old days.
The good old days.
Good old days. I tried to get your stats.
I knew you was going to be.
From your glory days on the hardwood.
It's a long time ago, 36 years ago, Doug Page.
Well, but the athletic director said the clay tablets that had them are missing.
And they probably are. Well, with that note, we're going to go take a break, and we're going to come back with Coach Ray Zawolski here with the Coaches Report right after these messages here on TCR Sports.
Jim Taylor's Troy Ford, 3230 South County Road, 25A, right here in Troy. 339-2687 or TroyFord.com. At Jim Taylor Troy Ford, you'll not only find low prices on great vehicles, but an award-winning service department as well. Jim Taylor's Troy Ford, 3230 South County Road, 25A, right here in Troy.
Welcome back to Bethel High School. We're here with Coach Ray Zawolski. Ray, Christmas is over, the holiday break.
Merry Christmas to everybody. Happy New Year.
Absolutely. And, kind of had a rough 3 games, and kids had some problems shooting is what it looked like.
Yeah, we struggled a little bit moving the ball, really, is what caused a lot of the problems, is our shots weren't as open as we need them to be. We worked a lot on ball movement this week, trying to find shooters at the right time, at the right place. And then we also talked about being a little more patient. We're going to have to work the ball, especially against a team this talented as Bethel. We're going to have to be very protective and very patient with the basketball tonight.
Mr. Anderson is still shooting, like I call him the Matrix.
I know.
He's still shooting extremely well, and, it just looks like you're going to have to, as a sophomore, you just got to get it down into him.
Oh, that's right now every team's focusing on stopping that. And you're right, his number of touches have to increase, but a little bit is on James. He has to desire the ball a little bit more. He has to now that they're focusing on him, he's got to put a little more work into getting the basketball.
I was expecting Luke Dillahunt to step up a little bit more and start knocking down them threes. He just hasn't seemed to get in his rhythm yet.
He's coming. It's coming. It's just a matter of time. We all would like it sooner than it has been. That pneumonia really set him back. And it's just it's a shame because it's his senior year. But at some point, the light bulb's going to click on, and Luke's going to get me 4 or 5 threes.
Well, you're coming into the Beehive playing the Bethel Bees, and Evan Hawthorne. I mean, that kid's going to be tough to handle, and Mr. Anderson's going to have a tough night this evening as a sophomore.
It's good for him. He went home sick from school today, so he's not at 100%. But maybe we'll get a Michael Jordan performance out of him, and we're going to need it.
Absolutely. The Bethel Bees, they've had, they started out with 5 wins in a row, and then they kind of had a little slide, and I'm sure they're looking to get back on the winning track. Not only that, they also lost to Yellow Springs by 7.
Yeah, Coach has them playing well. Obviously they had a couple of setbacks, but sometimes that's what you need in the process of a season. I expect that we'll get their best tonight. They're a very talented basketball team. We're going to have to try some tricks to hold them in check.
Well, like I said when we first got on the air, this is the second half of the season. Now is to get these kids ready for tournament time.
Amen, brother. We're all on the same page with that one.
Coach Ray Zawolski here, and good luck, Coach, and we'll talk to you after the game. And we'll be right back after these messages here on TCR Sports.
Hi, I'm Tracy Bodey. If you're looking to experience quality service at a fair price, come see us at Bodey's Automotive. We're located right down the block from Walgreens at 407 Peters Avenue, or you can reach us at 937-703-1614, or like us on Facebook at Bodey's Automotive.
3. Welcome back to Bethel High School in the Beehive, where the Troy Christian Eagles are getting ready to take on the Bethel Bees. And just got done talking to the coach, and he basically said, Mr. Anderson, the Matrix, is going to have a good game tonight, and if he doesn't, it's going to be tough. But he did go home sick this afternoon from school. He is here tonight. Coach don't think he's going to be 100%, but hopefully we're going to have a pretty good game out of him anyways.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see what happens down in the paint, because the sophomore's got his work cut out for him. Hawthorne is a big 6'7". Sometimes you see a kid that looks like a man among boys.
And he's running by us right now, and he is a big kid.
And he's got lots of experience.
Yes.
I was watching him in the practice gym. He's got a Division I three-pointer. I mean, his form and the rotation on the ball,
Right.
and it just snapped the net. I'm thinking to myself, whoa, I don't want to be on the court with him. Well, of course, 5'9".
Right.
68 years old. I look kind of ugly, but.
But it's one of those things when you come here, when you come down here to Bethel. I mean, it's a great tradition that they've had here on this basketball floor, and you look at Troy Christian, like we were talking. Luke Dillahunt just hasn't been able to get that three-pointer that he had going last year. Get it going, anyways. And again, he was also sick, fighting pneumonia also. So it's Troy Christian has had some. Some adversities here in the ball, early on in the season. But now, as like we were saying, this is the second half. These kids are going to have to step up and start looking towards the tournament time. And depending on how you play at this point, you're going to have to get yourself moving, find the good shots. And with that being said, look down the pike and say, okay, we may not get a seed, but we hopefully will be able to play some decent basketball going into the tournament time.
That's what the season is. This regular season is all about, is finding out who you are, what you can do, and what you can do to be better.
Yes.
On an individual and team basis. And one thing that Coach Zawalski does, and Coach Kopp mentioned this, always know what you're going to get from a Troy Christian team. They'll be disciplined, they'll work the ball, they'll be in your face defensively, they play solid fundamental basketball. Now they're against a taller, longer, I always like that, basketball announcers, blowhards that we are. We talk about longer. What does that mean? Well, that means you jump high, your arms go out forever, you just become twice your size on the court. Occupy a lot of space. You cut off the passing lanes, you fight through the screens, and you muscle on the boards. And this is what we're going to see tonight. Now, it'll be interesting to see what kind of tricks Zawalski has up his sleeve.
I expect, and this just as a kind of a guess, although I had a little insider information from the coach. I expect him to do. I expect him to go into play some zone tonight.
Yep.
And I also expect him to do some jumping out of that zone into a man-to-man. So it ought to be an interesting evening. Coach knows that he's outsized. Bethel has pretty much three good-sized young men in there, and so he knows he's going to be outsized. And with a sophomore in the middle for Troy Christian and Mr. Anderson, James Anderson, it's going to be one of those games where that kid's going to have to start stepping up to the plate and unfortunately try to play as a senior, early on in his career.
Well, and don't forget the Bees point guard, Caleb South.
Yes.
He puts the ball in the basket at a prodigious rate, whether he's cutting behind a screen, or whether they clear out a side of the basket for an isolation, a ball screening on the perimeter, whether he's got that extra step where he can either drive or hit the three-pointer. That's a lot to have to handle.
Well, and here's the other thing. This is a Monday night game, and I know both these clubs are coming off of a long holiday season. I think Bethel played on the 30th.
Yep.
They played on the 30th, which would have been Wednesday night. So, they haven't been off quite as long as, Troy Christian. Troy Christian played in the tournament up in Piqua on the 28th and 29th. So they've only been off one more day than what Bethel, but, Troy Christian had a tough game against Sidney Lehman, lost that game by, I think, 9, and then they came back and Covington got them by 7. So, again, Troy Christian's coming off of a 3-game losing streak, and then they have to come down here to Bethel, Bethel High School and take on a very, very good Bethel B club.
But again, this is high school basketball.
That's why you play every game. The Jets last night, and I know Mr. Hornberger, Scott, the owner here of the station, is really happy because his Pittsburgh Steelers stuck in. That's football. But again, that's the same thing. You have to play the game.
Well, and if they didn't play the game, what would you and I do?
We wouldn't be broadcasting.
Well, we'd find ways to get in trouble, even at our elderly status.
Yes, we would. Well, we're about 3 minutes away from the opening tip-off here of tonight's game. The Troy Christian Eagles down here at the Beehive at Bethel High School taking on the Bethel Bees. We're going to take a break, and we'll be right back with more high school basketball action here on TCR Sports.
Jim Taylor's Troy Ford, 3230 South County Road, 25A, right here in Troy. 339-2687 or TroyFord.com. At Jim Taylor Troy Ford, you'll not only find low prices on great vehicles, but an award-winning service department as well. Jim Taylor's Troy Ford, 3230 South County Road, 25A, right here in Troy.
Welcome back to Bethel High School, where the Troy Christian Eagles are getting ready to take on the Bethel Bees. And, Doug, looking at the gym here down here in Bethel, and it's,
pretty nice.
Troy Christian is traveling pretty well here this evening, and Bethel's got their side of the gym pretty much full. And
even got a band back there.
Yes, the pride of Bethel, part of their I think their pep band, they call it, is over there.
So did you play on this floor?
No, I did not play on this floor. Actually, the practice gym that's right behind us, or that you called the practice gym, that was the main gym when I was here as a
decades ago.
1980.
Okay.
1980, and some folks probably listening up in Troy. Coach John B. Whitehouse was the varsity boys coach at that time. Then he ended up taking the girls and won a state title here at Bethel High School. So, Coach Whitehouse.
Coach Cobb was part of that famed 2001 state championship team.
Yes.
So he can tell them what it takes to be the best.
And we're getting ready to tip things off here. We're going to take another break. We'll be back with the opening tip-off here at Bethel High School. The Troy Christian Eagles taking on the Bethel Bees right here on TCR Sports.
Hi, I'm Tracy Bodey. If you're looking to experience quality service at a fair price, come see us at Bodey's Automotive. We're located right down the block from Walgreens at 407 Peters Avenue, or you can reach us at 937-703-1614, or like us on Facebook at Bodey's Automotive.
Welcome back to Bethel High School with the Bethel Bees and the Troy Christian Eagles getting ready to tip things off. And for the starting lineup for the Bethel Bees, my good friend Doug Page.
Number 1, starting at guard, a 6'4" junior, Tyler Terry. Starting at guard, number 3, a 6-foot sophomore, Caleb South. Starting at forward, number 10, a 6'1" junior, Jacob Evans. Starting at a third guard, number 20, Nate Rimkus, a 5'11" junior. And in the middle, starting at center, number 33, a 6'7" senior, Evan Hawthorne.
That's the starting lineup for the Bethel Bees. And for the Troy Christian Eagles, starting at guard, wearing number 21, a 5'9" senior, Chase Hayden. At the other guard, a junior, 5'10", number 22, Seth Wynn. At a forward, 6'3", junior, wearing number 23, Jacob Brown. In the middle, who I call the matrix, a sophomore, 6'5", center, number 30, James Anderson. And rounding it out, Mr. Football for Troy Christian, a senior 6-foot guard wearing number 32, Luke Dillahunt. That is the starting lineups for the Troy Christian Eagles.
We have all the Jim Jam done. Now let's play some ball.
Now let's play some basketball.
Now we're down here on the court tonight, right in a corner, and there's nobody standing in front of us.
No, nobody in front of us, but the play on the far end is going to be a little bit difficult, but...
and that's what they got made trifocals for.
Is that what they're for?
Yeah.
So they're getting ready to jump center, number 33, Evan Hawthorne going up against the Matrix James Anderson. Officials getting it going, got the whistle up, the ball's up in the air, and the tap is tipped out of bounds, and it's going to be white basketball is what he called.
Yep.
Yes, so Bethel has control of the basketball off the tip. I have it on their side of the 10-second line. Taking it out of bounds is Tyler Terry. He gets it into Caleb South, the sophomore that's been scoring a lot of points for the Bees.
Dillahunt is on him.
Dillahunt on the guard, kicks it off in the far right corner, off the dribble. Gets it out to Hawthorne, way at the top of the key. We know he can shoot the three. South with on the dribble, no good there. They kick it around the outside perimeter. Troy Christian in a 3-2 zone. Kicks it all the way up to the top to Evan Hawthorne. Hawthorne off in the corner, number 20, a long three, no good. A long rebound, still controlled by Bethel. Going right to the basket is Evan or South, but here comes the Troy Christian Eagles on the dribble. Number 21, Chase Hayden, kicks it all the way across to Brown on the right side. Seth Wynn for a long three, no good. Rebound Dillahunt, the ball's tied up. And they're going to be a jump ball, quick whistle on that, but it'll remain Troy Christian's basketball. Good hustle by Luke Dillahunt on the inside. Again, football skills kind of helped him out there amongst trees. They kick it into Anderson. Anderson to Chase Hayden. Hayden gets it across the Wynn, gets it into Anderson. Anderson going right at Evan Hawthorne. He gets called with the travel, but he had Hawthorne up in the air if he had held his pivot foot. So, but no good. Bethel has the basketball on the turnover. South with the basketball, being guarded by Luke Dillahunt. He's still on the dribble across the timeline. Kicks it over to Terry. Terry back to South for the Bees. Dillahunt not giving him any room up top. He's guarding way out, way off in the corner is Remkes. Gets it across to Evans. Evans gets it inside to Terry, no good. And the rebound goes to the Troy Christian Eagles. Hayden on the dribble. Gets it at the top of the key. He's being guarded by South. Kicks it over to Anderson. Anderson around the corner win. Inside to Anderson. Anderson loses a handle out of bounds. And another turnover. It's going to go back to Bethel. They're able to get the ball inside. Anderson is working real hard to get that the post position. Nice hustle by Dillahunt. Kicks it out of bounds. Dillahunt is making sure that South is being hounded at full court. It's kind of a one-man full court press.
I think what we're seeing is the box and one.
I think you're absolutely right. Dillahunt gets it all the way back at the top of the key to Terry. Terry's looking for South.
Dillahunt is going to stick on South like glue.
Yeah, I expect someone else to jump on him as much defense as Terry for a long shot. No good. Rebound Anderson. Anderson throws it, loses control, and it's going to be a foul. That foul's going to go against Luke Dillahunt. Got called for a push on the far baseline. 5:52 left. Nobody has scored yet here in this opening quarter at Bethel High School. South with the basketball. Kicks it already corner. Remkes for three. Way downtown. No good. Brown with the rebound. Brown on the dribble. Seth Wynn out hard. Going to the basket. Misses a layup. Hawthorne with the rebound. Kicks it out to Remkes for Bethel. He's still on the dribble. Picked his dribble up. South has got it on the way to the basket. Kicks it inside to Remkes. Remkes up, gets fouled. He's going to go to the line shooting two. Not sure who got hit on that. It looks like number 30, James Anderson gets called for that foul. So that's going to send Remkes for the Bees to the line shooting two. First one's away, gets it down. I'd like to thank a few of our underwriters here on TCR Sports. Boarding's Party Time, Dave Services, Troy Meat Shop, Mosley Stove Shop and Chimney Suite, Tim Purdy, Remax Professionals. Thank you very much, underwriters.
Kirkpatrick is in.
And Remkes with the second one away. He misses it. Rebound, Anderson. Here comes Troy Christian. 5:25 left in the first quarter. It's a 1-0 ball game at the end of the first inning. Anderson on the post. Nice pass by Anderson. But man, nice.
Terry with a block.
Nice block by Terry following Brown all the way through. He was able to recover after a very nice pass by James Anderson.
That's what we call length.
That's exactly right. Good recovery. Gets it into Anderson. They had it underneath their own basket. Gets it over to Seth Wynn. Chase Hayden. Gets it over to Brown. Gets it, looks it inside to Brown. Brown on the dribble. Gets it back out to the top of the key. Over the far left corner. No good there. Brown on the dribble. Brown still no good. Good work by the Troy Christian Eagles. Long one by Chase Hayden. No good. Bats it around. Rebound Seth Wynn. It goes off of his knee, out of bounds, and it's going to be Bethel's basketball. So you got Kirkpatrick's coming back in for Spurlock was in there for a second. So Kirkpatrick is now going to guard South. South on the dribble. Kirkpatrick's guarding him. They're just going to switch. They're going to try to keep fresh legs on South. It's across to Terry. Terry no place to go. Off in the corner of Remkes. Remkes on the baseline. Kicks it all the way out the left corner for three. No good. Rebound Brown. 4:24 left. Still a 1-0 ball game. Seth Wynn goes to basket. Anderson with a big rebound inside. Kicks it out to Brown. Hayden, no good. Gets it tipped away. Seth Wynn gets it back into Anderson. Anderson gets it.
Another block.
Hawthorne with a block for the Bees. South with the basketball on the far end. Still on the dribble. Looking to go in. Gets it inside to Remkes. It's tipped away by Brown. Out of bounds. Going to remain Bethel's basketball.
They are playing a ferocious man-to-man, the Bees are. And there's a lot of tugging and pushing going on under the basket.
Anderson is out. Spurlock is in. Hayden Hartman is also in. So Troy Christian's got a really small club on the floor now. So they're going back in that box and one. It's kind of a box and a 1-3. Caleb South on the dribble. Nowhere to go. Gets it to Terry in the far left corner. Terry on the dribble, bringing it back out to the top of the key. Back to South on the left side. Looking to go to the left baseline. Nowhere to go. Steps on the out of bounds line. And turnover. Ball goes back to Troy Christian.
That's a good defensive stand. Harassing South. When he tried to drive, the zone collapsed on him. He had nowhere to. That baseline was closed as I-75 during rush hour at Dayton.
Seth Wynn gets over to Hartman on the right wing. Hartman, and he gets pushed by number 23. Ian Anderson is in now for the Bees. So there's a foul, and that is the Bethel's first foul. Will be taken out of bounds on the far side. Hayden gets it in to Wynn. Wynn's bringing it up across the timeline. Wynn on the dribble. Gets out to Spurlock. Spurlock on the driving right. Nowhere to go there. Gets it all the way out to Hartman on the left wing. Hartman dribbling right. Looking for somewhere to go. Gets it to Kilpatrick. Back to Hayden. Hayden looking to go. Gets it off the corner to Hartman on the right side. Good ball movement by the Eagles. Kirkpatrick looking to go with it. Nice work. Seth Wynn off in the left corner. He's still on the dribble. It's around to Kirkpatrick. Far side, can't see who's got it. It's Chase Hayden. Gets it Spurlock. Spurlock going right into the big man. Gets it up and in. The first 2 points. And Troy Christian's taking a 2-1 lead with 2:38 left here in the first quarter. But here comes the Bees. Long three-pointer. Got it.
Whoa!
Ian Anderson way downtown. And that's going to be a 4-2 ball game now with 2:24 left to go in the first period. Gets it over to Spurlock. Spurlock to Hartman. Kilpatrick back to Spurlock on the far right wing. Spurlock looking to go right baseline, nothing there, but big man. Kicks it all in the corner to Hayden. Hayden going baseline up and around the big man. Nice move by Chase Hayden. That's going to knock this thing up at 4s with 1:59 left to go in the first quarter. Bethel with the basketball, gets to the top of the key. Anderson with that last long three, gets it inside. It's going to be a holding call. That's going to go against number 10. Kirkpatrick's giving up probably about 5 inches, going against Evan Hawthorne in on the post.
It's two amazingly different defenses out there that are working very well.
Bethel gets it inbound in the far left corner, another long three, and the ball's loose, and it's still loose on the floor. And Troy Christian comes up, Wynn on the dribble, gets it into Spurlock, misses it. Brown follows it and misses a bunny. Can't see who's got the rebound, and they go right back up, misses another one, and it's going to be out of bounds. It's going to be a foul called on Brown on an over the back. Jacob Brown, that's going to be Troy Christian's 14th foul here. Jacob Brown's first, 1:31 left. It's a 4-4 ball game. Bringing it up now is number 30 for the Bees. I'm not sure who that is. Not on the roster, at least the ones we have. He gets it over to Terry. Terry still on the dribble. Nice move, gets it in to Hawthorne, but he loses the ball, and the Wynn's got it. Wynn on the break, nothing doing. He decides to pull it back. It's all the way in the corner to Brown, the right side. Kicks it over to Dillahunt in the right corner. He kicks it back out to the right wing, and around the horn they go. Inside to Anderson. Anderson going against 2 of them.
Three of them.
Go somewhere to go, couldn't get it to go. He just was able to muscle himself around and get a good shot, but didn't go. But here comes the Bees. It's off in the corner to Terry. Number 23, Anderson. Number 30 now has it. Still not sure who the young man is. He kicks it inside to Hawthorne. Hawthorne kicks it back out. Terry with it on the left wing. To the drive. No good. Kicked out. Rebound, Troy Christian. 30 seconds left to go here in the first quarter. It's a 4-4 ball game. Neither one of these clubs have been able to put the ball in the basket. Troy Christian going to play for 1. We're down to 20 seconds here in the first frame. Wynn. He's being guarded by number 30 for Bethel. Gets it over to Anderson. Anderson to Brown, around the corner to Spurlock. Back to Dillahunt for 3. No good. Rebound Bethel. Terry on the dribble. He's going to be fouled by number 23, Jacob Brown. That's Brown's second. That's Troy Christian's 15th foul with 3.9 seconds to go here in the first quarter. Bethel's going to take the ball, how about just on this side of their timeline. South with the ball. Driving all the way. Got it to go at the buzzer. So at the end of the first quarter, it's the Bethel Bees 6, the Troy Christian Eagles 4. We'll be right back after these messages here on TCR Sports.
Jim Taylor's Troy Ford, 3230 South County Road, 25A, right here in Troy. 339-2687 or TroyFord.com. At Jim Taylor Troy Ford, you'll not only find low prices on great vehicles, but an award-winning service department as well. Jim Taylor's Troy Ford, 3230 South County Road, 25A, right here in Troy.
Welcome back to Bethel High School, where the Bethel Bees is taking on the Troy Christian Eagles. And after the first quarter, it's a 6-4 ball game. Sounds more like a baseball game here, Doug.
Rimkus, their best shooter for the Bees, is 0 for 4 from 3 points.
Right.
Nobody's really gotten in a rhythm other than Anderson and Hawthorne underneath each basket, and they're just beating each other up. Troy has twice attempted to capitalize on driving the baseline. Every time, those long arms, 2-3 Bees are there.
Right. Well, we just had an inbounds pass, and
it went out of bounds.
Whoever was on the far side, I think it was number 23, Anderson, wasn't expecting the pass. So Troy Christian got the basketball, and Hayden Hartman way downtown, no good, and here comes the Bees. South with the dribble. He's looking to go left. He's still on the dribble, going around the outside, kicks it out to Anderson. A long one, and he got that one to go. That's the second three-pointer for Ian Anderson.
He's 2 for 2 from there.
It's going to be a 9-4 lead now for the Bees. 7:33 to go in the second quarter. And that's going to be an over and back. A turnover by Troy Christian.
Dillahunt threw it back out when he was trapped on the baseline, and nobody was there.
It's one of those things. You start to dribble baseline. You pick that dribble up down there. You're going to get cornered. And then if you don't have anywhere to go, that is just what happens. You throw it out, throw it over the over and back line or the time line.
When you have Hawthorne and Terry down there,
right.
Yeah. Hawthorne hasn't taken a shot yet.
Caleb South on the dribble. He's being guarded by Hartman. Kicks it all the way in the corner over to back. South has it again. Terry at the top of the elbow. Got it to go. So it's 7 minutes and 10 seconds. It's now 11-4 lead for the Bees. Brown gets it across the timeline. Kicks it over to Dillahunt right at the top of the key. Back to Hartman on the far right wing. To Brown, to Dillahunt on the left wing. Kicks it over to Kirkpatrick. They're going around the horn to Brown on the far right. Brown took a stutter step, went inside, tried to go over top of Hawthorne, no good, but here comes the Bees. Terry on the drive, gets it all the way over. Nice block by Luke Dillahunt. Following that play, never give up, and here comes the Troy Christian Eagles. Kicks it over to Brown, nice save by the young man, and he kicks it back out to Hartman, and he gets fouled, it looks like by number 3, Caleb South. That is who got the foul.
It's kind of interesting when you look at it. South has had only 2 shots. He made 1 of them. Hawthorne hasn't had a shot, according to my scorebook.
I think you're absolutely right.
So this defense seems to be wearing them down, but at the same time, when you have Anderson able to hit those 3-pointers, you don't need the big stars.
Brown looked on the dribble, gets it kind of in the post. Hayden. Hartman for a long 3, no good. Follow by Brown, didn't get it to go. Another follow by
Brown.
Number 20, by 21. Chase Hayden gets it to go to make it an 11-6 game now. 6 minutes left to go in the second quarter. South with the basketball, being guarded by Hartman. Kicks it all the way across to Remkus. Down in the corner to Evans. Back to Remkus for 3. His next attempt.
Now he hits him.
Now he got it to go, and now it's a 14-6 lead for the Bees. On the dribble, bringing it up the court. Chase Hayden kicks it over to Dillahunt. Dillahunt thought about taking the 3. Hartman's going to take it in the right corner, and he comes back with a 3. It's now a 14-9 lead for the Bees. Hartman answered the 3 from Remkus. South gets across the timeline, kicks it over to Remkus. Far right side, Remkus again for 3, way downtown, in and out, rebound Dillahunt. Good positioning by Luke. Luke's going to bring it out himself. He's on the dribble. Gets it over to Hayden. No good for 3. Anderson was able to keep that alive. Brown with it on the left corner. Dillahunt on the drive, heading right. Gets in the right corner to Chase Hayden. Hayden gets inside, gets hit, and throws one up when it didn't go. Here comes the Bees. Number 23, Anderson going in. Nice shot by Ian Anderson. Going left side, flips it up with his right hand, gets it to go. 20, Chase Hayden with the dribble, gets it across the timeline. 16-9 lead for the Bees. Brown over to Hayden, looking inside, and a good defense by the Bees. And Caleb South is on the go.
Dillahunt. That was a trip, I think they'll call.
Dillahunt, it wasn't intentional, but it's just Caleb South was definitely on the move heading towards the basket. 4:27 to go here in the first half.
South is limping.
Yeah, he's walking it off.
He hit hard on that right knee.
Yeah. Dillahunt was heading up the right side, and
they collided.
Caleb South decided to go back towards the middle, and they just kind of got tangled up, and down he went. He's still walking it off. Good move by the officials, give the young man an opportunity. South with the basketball. He's looking to go left. Kicks it way off in the corner. Couldn't see who it was. Anderson with another three. That's going to be a 19-9 lead for the Bees.
Anderson's 3 for 3.
He's come in with 9 quick points from downtown. Number 3's now Colt Tanner's in the ball game for the Eagles. Brown with it on the right side. Anderson way outside where he should be. Kicks it around to Seth Wynn. Tanner with the basketball, being guarded by Anderson of Bethel. Brown for a three-pointer, no good. And rebound, Bethel. Caleb South on the dribble, gets it across, puts it up, and he gets it to go. Nice spin move by Caleb Anderson Caleb South to get that shot to go. 3:44 left here in the second quarter.
And he was fouled by Hayden, I believe, and he's got what you call the hard
three-point play right here. South at the line shooting the extra one. It's away, it's no good, and rebound Bethel. Just good hustle by the Bees. And another long rebound blocked by Anderson. And Troy Christian comes up with it. Hartman on the dribble, come up the left side of the floor. Kicks it into Seth Wynn. Wynn looking to go to the baseline left side. No good, in and out. They're still scrambling around. Anderson with the basketball. He loses the control, and Bethel was able to save, and Caleb South is now on the dribble on the left side. He pulls it back out, looking to go baseline. Still on the dribble. Still on dribble. Looks inside, gets it to number 10. He is fouled by Anderson. And that's going to be Jacob Evans going to the line, shooting 2. That is, I'm sorry.
They called it on Brown.
They called it on Brown, and that's his 3rd foul here. So Jacob Brown is going to sit down here. And the line, number 10, Jacob Evans, nails the first one. I'd like to thank a few more of our underwriters here on TCR Sports. Caliber Home Loans, Stanley Steamer, International College of Broadcasting, Heath Murray State Farm Insurance, Sound City Music, and Excellence in Dentistry. Thank you very much, underwriters. Second one's away and no good, and it's going to go out of bounds looks like it's off of Ian Anderson. They're going to give it to Troy Christian. Hope Tanner. Sophomore also in for the Troy Christian Eagles, and he's bringing the basketball up the floor, gets across the timeline. Hits it over to Kirkpatrick. Top the key. Swings it to the right side to Hartman. Back to Wynn to top the key. Kirkpatrick also back out of the wing. Gets it over to Tanner. They're just moving the ball, kind of running the lead. Seth Wynn looking to drive, nowhere to go. Way across to Spurlock. Spurlock, the ball is out of bounds. It's going to go off of his foot, and it's going to be Bethel's basketball.
Yeah, it's getting a little sloppy for Troy Christian.
Got some good ball movement there. Haven't been able to get a decent shot. South with the basketball for the Bees. Rolling over towards the left side. Sophomore's guarding him, Tanner. Number 30 in the game for the Bees. Anderson. It gets it in the Remkus in on the right side, and he was able to nice pass by number 30 to Evans, and he was able to knock it down. Troy Christian with the basketball. Kirkpatrick, there's going to be a foul called. Not sure. It looks like it's going to go against Bethel. Number 10, Jacob Evans. That's his first foul. Bethel's 3rd team foul of the first half. 2:05 left to go here in the second quarter. It's now a 24-9 lead for the Bees. Evans is coming out, and they're bringing in Ethan Hawthorne is coming back in, their big man. Hayden with the basketball, looks it inside to Spurlock. Spurlock all the way to the right side to Hartman. Back out to Tanner. Wynn on the dribble down the lane, going right at Hawthorne. He had nowhere to go.
That was not going to work. Hawthorne had that one.
South on the dribble. Gets it to go right off the dribble and on the right elbow, able to knock it down. It's now a 26-9 lead with 1:37 left to go here in the second quarter.
Bethel is in a rhythm.
Chase Hayden on the dribble. Gets it over to Spurlock. Spurlock is driving over towards the right side to win. Down in the far right corner is Tanner. Tanner driving baseline, far all the way across. Spurlock had Hawthorne coming at him. Win at the top of the key for three-pointer. Got it to go. It's now a 26-12 lead for the Bees. 1 minute and 7 seconds left to go here in the second quarter. What started out to be a low-scoring game, Bethel has picked up the pace and been able to knock some threes down. Number 30 for the Bees has it. Gets it all the way across to Remkus. No good. Rebound, Troy Christian. Spurlock with the rebound, kicks it all the way out to Hartman. Hartman on the right wing, had nowhere to go. Back out to Spurlock at the top of the key. Right side to Hayden. Back to Hartman for three again. He had his range, but didn't get it. Spurlock, nice save. Back to Spurlock in the corner. Tanner. Hayden. Win for three. Got it. 26-15 lead now for the Bees. 20 seconds left to go here in the second quarter. Caleb South on the dribble, being guarded by Tanner, sophomore, going against the sophomore. Tanner. They just knocked the ball away. They tried to double team. They left somebody open in the far corner at the buzzer, and it goes. Number 23, Ian Anderson at the buzzer. Did he get fouled? Is he going to the line shooting an extra one?
Doesn't look like it.
Does not look like he's going to go the line shooting two, or shooting one. We're trying to sort this out here before we take a break, and he did not get fouled at the end of that shot. So at the end of the first half, it's the Bethel Bees 29 or Troy Christian Eagles 15. We'll be back for the halftime report right after these messages here on TCR Sports.
Hi, I'm Tracy Bodey. If you're looking to experience quality service at a fair price, come see us at Bodey's Automotive. We're located right down the block from Walgreens at 407 Peters Avenue, or you can reach us at 937-703-1614 or like us on Facebook at Bodey's Automotive.
Welcome back to Bethel High School, where the Bethel Bees are taking on our own Troy Christian Eagles. And at the end of the first half, it's the Bethel Bees 29, our Troy Christian Eagles 15. And Doug, as the first quarter started out as a 6-4 ball game, and after that, the Bethel Bees has now put on 23 points.
Well, it's it's been interesting. I'm looking here, and they outscored 23-11 the Eagles in that second period. The leading scorer is Ian Anderson with 14 points.
There's the difference.
Yeah, well, he's 4 of 4 from long distance, and for the Troy Christian, we have. I'm adding up quick. Shouldn't take long. Seth Wynn with 6 points on 2 3-pointers. I thought we'd see more man-to-man in the second period as we saw in the first from the Bees.
Right.
They switched totally to his own and limited the shots that Troy could take, and they were, I'm trying to add this up in my head, but they were 3 for 6 from 3-point range. On the other end, Bethel scored at will. South got hot with his drives, hitting the open man, which was Anderson in that corner. He loves that far left-hand corner where we can't see him. And he just, when he hits it, it's nothing but net.
Well, number 20, Nate Grimkus for Bethel is, he was 0 for his first 3 3-pointers, and that kind of surprised me a little bit because he really wasn't on. But then Anderson came in and is absolutely knocked down. He had 9 points really quick, and that's what kind of stretched things out for the Bethel Bees. And really was expecting a little more out of Evan Hawthorne than what we've seen tonight, but both him and Anderson, they are playing so hard on the inside that neither one of their shots is going up with any kind of touch, just because they're just banging banging away in there.
Well, Hawthorne hasn't taken a shot. He's blocked 3 shots.
Right.
Without James Anderson in there for Troy, and James has sat down the second period. He played all of the first period, but they sat him down. He only had 1 foul. I suspect he's probably pretty tired. If I was sick, I don't know if I'd be playing. But both big men, when they're out there on the court, they're doing their job. And when James Anderson has to sit for Troy, then they've got to go to a very small lineup.
Right.
And Coach Kopp from Bethel just pulls Hawthorne out because he's got plenty of big guys. He lets Terry take care of the middle, and when Terry gets tired, Anderson, Ian Anderson, who's another long, tall, well-muscled young man who can hit 3-pointers, as we've seen. So it's kind of a chess match. Kopp's not tiring out all of his big men. Zawiski is depending on just hounding Caleb South with 3 different players. We've had Brown on him.
Tanner's been on him.
Tanner's been on
and
him.
Luke Dillahunt's
been on him, and I think Hartman was on him for a while too.
Yes.
They just would rotate that man-to-man on Caleb South, and then the other 4 would form that box zone. The problem with that is Caleb South drives the lane, gets past the initial defender, the box closes in the paint, and that ball immediately goes out to the corner, in this case to Anderson, and Anderson knocks him down from threes.
Yeah,
hard to beat that way.
It is. Yeah, they've once Caleb South, like you said, gets by the defender or whomever it is, then someone has to come pick him up, because he can hit at that elbow, either left or right elbow. He's knocked him down on both sides. So once he penetrates, and he's quick and he's got a good spin move, like you said, they have to collapse, and somebody or some bodies normally at that point, you got 2 of them coming at him, somebody's is normally open.
Yeah, and as Coach Kopp had said earlier today, South is the kind of player. He is a point guard, a scoring point guard. So if he doesn't have that shot, if they're hanging all over him, he has the ability and the vision on the court to get a laser-like pass to the open man.
Yeah, again, at this point, Bethel's going to have to do something to try to slow this Bethel B team down, because I tell you what, in that first quarter, you got to give Troy Christian Eagles a lot of credit. They were able to hold the Bees to only 6 points, but unfortunately, the thoroughbreds that Bethel has here tonight is starting to show up. They've definitely come now to the race to run this thing. So Troy Christian is going to have to try to slow some things down and try to keep Caleb South from that penetrating and looking to dish the thing out.
Well, you can stop him some of the time. You're not going to stop him all of the time.
That's right.
I suspect that we'll see a little different. We might see a little different defense from the Eagles. Now, I don't know what they could throw out there. They may start going man and then switch to zone and back to man, just try to confuse the Bees. But when you're long and athletic, boy, I hate myself, long and athletic,
right.
Cliches. When you're good at the game and you're big, that makes up for a whole lot.
It does, and we're getting start the second half here at the Beehive at Bethel High School, where the Troy Christian Eagles are taking on the Bethel Bees. We'll be back right after these messages here on TCR Sports.
Jim Taylor's Troy Ford, 3230 South County Road, 25A, right here in Troy. 339-2687 or TroyFord.com. At Jim Taylor Troy Ford, you'll not only find low prices on great vehicles, but an award-winning service department as well. Jim Taylor's Troy Ford, 3230 South County Road, 25A, right here in Troy.
Welcome back to Bethel High School. Plays underway. Jacob Brown, Troy Christian got the ball starting the second half. Seth Winwood on the left side. Looking inside. Back out to Anderson on the right elbow. He's now at the top of the key to Dillahunt for a long three on the left wing. No good. Rebound, Terry Bethel. Here comes the Bees. Gets it over to Caleb South. Caleb South gets it blocked by Anderson. He tips it away from Anderson, and he goes right back at him again. Up and around him for a left-handed layup, and he scores. 7:12 left to go in the third quarter. It's a 31-15 lead now for the Bees. Wynn gets across the timeline to Brown. Brown being guarded by Terry for the Bees. Kicks it off over the far right corner to Dillahunt. Back to Anderson. Around the horn it goes to Chase Hayden. Brown at the top of the key. Wynn for three on the right side. No good. Rebound Terry stripped by Chase Hayden, and he gets it up and in. Nice way to stay at home by Chase Hayden. 6:40 left to go in the third quarter. Now 31-17 lead for the Bees. They look South on the dribble on the left side. All the way out to Anderson. Anderson getting it back to South. South being guarded by Luke Dillahunt. Hunt backs off and goes back at it again. South still on the dribble. Gets it over to Anderson. Gets it inside to Hawthorne. Hawthorne goes right up into Anderson, and it's going to put Hawthorne at the line shooting two.
I don't know. That one looked pretty good to me.
I think he's got him with the body.
Okay, we'll give him that.
So Hawthorne at the line shooting two. Eyes up the first one. Oasis short. I'd like to thank a few more of our underwriters here on TCR Sports. Willoughby's Hollow, Bodey's Automotive, Union Savings Bank, Hybrid Strength and Fitness, Irwin, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep. Thank you very much, underwriters. Hawthorne gets a second one to go. 6:17 left here in the third quarter. It's a 32-17 lead for the Bees. Brown on the dribble on the right side, cuts it back left, gets it to Chase Hayden. Over to Dillahunt. Dillahunt going right to the basket on the right move. Couldn't get to go. Rebound Bethel. South on the dribble. Still on the dribble. Picks it off in the corner. Far corner. I'm not sure who shot that, but South gets it back. Goes right to the left side. No good. Rebound Brown. Dillahunt on the break. All the way over to Hayden. Hayden on the fast break. Gets it up and in. 19-32 now. Bethel lead. Gets it all the way in the corner of the number 20, Remkes. Remkes knocks it down for three. That's his first three here of the evening. Now it's a 35-19 lead for the Bees. Seth Wynn on the dribble. He's getting it across the timeline. Being guarded by Remkes. Brown to Chase Hayden. Anderson way outside. Dillahunt looking to drive the right side. Gets it over to Anderson. Back to Wynn, to Brown, to Hayden, going to the baseline. He gets it blocked by South. South gets his own block. Here he comes. Kicks it over to Terry. Terry going right to the basket, and it goes. And he's going to go to the line, shooting the extra one. That foul's probably going to go against Luke Dillahunt. Basket is good. Number 32, Luke Dillahunt gets the foul. That's his third foul. Dillahunt coming out. Spurlock coming in for the Eagles. 37-19 lead now. Terry at the line, shooting the extra one. Three-point play, no good. Rebound. Seth Wynn on the dribble, gets up the timeline. Gets up to Spurlock. Spurlock for three, way outside, no good. We got a whistle. Foul off the ball inside. Number Hawthorne gets called with the foul on a hold. So it's going to be Troy Christian basketball underneath their basket on the right side. Gets it out to Hartman. Hartman goes right back into Anderson. Anderson goes up, gets it tipped away by Hawthorne, and here comes the Bees. South gets it to Terry. Terry, reverse layup. Nice touch by the young man. Gets it to go.
That's what a point guard does. Gets it to the open man.
And we got a timeout on the floor, and we're going to take one, too. We'll be back with more live high school basketball action here on TCR Sports.
Hi, I'm Tracy Bodey. If you're looking to experience quality service at a fair price, come see us at Bodey's Automotive. We're located right down the block from Walgreens at 407 Peters Avenue, or you can reach us at 937-703-1614 or like us on Facebook at Bodey's Automotive.
Welcome back to Bethel High School. The Bethel Bees is leading our Troy Christian Eagles 39-19, and Doug, the Bees are just extending that lead. It's nothing real flashy. Yeah, nothing really flashy. They just keep going to work and just extending this lead, and they've got it up to 20 with 4 minutes and 30 seconds left here in the third quarter.
We're looking at a 10-4 run in the first 3.5 minutes of the third period. Troy's ball.
Troy Christian with the basketball after three-point play. Seth Wynn on the dribble, gets it across the timeline. He's being guarded by Remkes. South is on Hartman. Looking inside, and we got a traveling call by Wynn. Picked the dribble up and shuffled his feet. Turnover, Troy Christian. That's going to be, the ball's going to go out of bounds. Far inbound line. Gets it into Terry. Terry just decides to bring it up himself for the Bees. Number 1. Kicks it all the way across to Remkes. Remkes back to Terry at the top of the key. Back to Remkes on the right side. Terry looking to drive for the Bees. Kicks it over. Kicks it over to Anderson on the left wing. Anderson for 3, way downtown, no good. Anderson, big rebound by the big man. Gets it to Wynn. Wynn on the dribble. Gets it across the timeline. Nowhere to go. Gets it inside to Spurlock. Spurlock goes right up. Got fouled. Can't tell exactly. Number 23, Ian Anderson. That's his second foul. That's going to put Spurlock at the line, shooting 2. Spurlock on the dribble, eyeing up the basket, releases it, no good. We've got a few more of our underwriters that make it all happen here on TCR Sports. Troy Carstar, Trojan Auto Care, Lance Martin, Better Homes and Garden Realty, Orting's Party Time, and Dave's Services. Thank you very much, underwriters. Spurlock for his second attempt, missed them both, and rebound the Bees. South with the basketball. He's now being guarded by Spurlock. Still on the dribble, picked by Anderson. South still going to the basket. He's going to be held by number Jacob Brown. That is Jacob Brown's 4th foul of the evening. So Jacob Brown's going to go out. He's going to bring in Hayden Hartman. Long three-pointer by Remkes. He gets it to go. It's now a 42-19 lead for the Bees. Seth Wynn on the dribble. On the right side, he's being guarded by Remkes. All the way across Spurlock. Inside, looking for Brown, no good. Turnover, and a good turnover right back by the Troy Christian Eagles. Spurlock going right to the basket, no good. And the ball is tipped around back here, and the officials finally blew it dead because they tipped it off the back of the backboard. So Kirkpatrick's coming in for Anderson. Dillahunt's coming in for, looks like Chase Hayden.
The bad news is Remkes
has finally found his range.
Has found his range.
Kirkpatrick with the basketball, and he gets it stripped by number 10, Evans. And Evans is going to go out of bounds. It should be Troy Christian basketball.
You wouldn't want to dive for that one.
No, that was that one was heading towards the parking lot.
Yeah, it would have hurt.
Troy Christian has the ball out of bounds. 2:58 left to go here in the third quarter. Hayden, I should say Wynn with it. Now Hartman has it back to Luke Dillahunt. Dillahunt loses the basketball. And he grabbed, that was Terry, number 1. So that's going to be Luke Dillahunt. That's going his 4th foul. So Luke's in foul trouble. So Bethel with the basketball. Hartman is now guarding Caleb South. Still on South. South on the dribble on the left side. Kicks it inside, but a turnover. Spurlock was able to snip that one out and intercept that pass. But here they come across the timeline. Over to Hartman on the far right wing. Spurlock right at the top of the arch. He drives the left side. And that's going to be on number 3, Caleb South. That's going to be his second foul. 13th foul for the Bees. And in the game for the Bees is Corey Hamlin.
And Mr. Schenk, who we saw in the JV game.
And Ben Shank's in now for the Troy Christian Eagles. Spurlock over to Shank. Over to Hartman. Back to Spurlock at the top key. Shank on the left side. He thought about coming in and firing one up. Wasn't able to pull the trigger. Hartman, the far corner to Shank. Looks inside to Spurlock. Nice pass. Spurlock took a little too long and got it swatted away, but it come right back to the Troy Christian Eagles. And in the far corner, loses the basketball, and South comes up with it. South is on the dribble, coming right down the middle of the basket. He just throws one up, but he was able to draw a foul, and he's going to go to the line shooting 2. Not sure who they're going to call that foul against. There was about 3 Troy Christians.
I think it was Wynn.
Yep. Seth Wynn with the foul, his first, is going to send South to the line shooting 2. Eyes it up, releases the first one, gets it to go. I can thank a few more of our sponsors here on Troy Community Radio. Makes it all happen. Troy Meat Shop, Mosley Stove Shop and Chimney Sweep, Tim Purdy Remax Professionals, HTM Credit Union, and Caliber Home Loans. Second one's away, and Caleb Smith South knocks the second one down also. It's now a 44-19 lead for the Bees. A minute and a half to go here in the third quarter. Long three-pointer by Hartman. Got it. That is the first points that Troy Christian has scored in about 4 minutes. On the dribble is South. South still looking for somewhere to go. Still on the dribble. Pulls it all the way back out almost to the timeline. South still on the dribble. Gets it tipped away. Almost thrown away, and it is picked off by Spurlock. Seth Wynn on the dribble. Has nowhere to go. Gets it tipped away by Hamlin. Little sloppy play now, but Bees come up with it. South with the basketball. Dribbling up the left on the left wing. He's now being guarded by Hartman. They're just pulling it back out. They're going to kind of play things for the last shot here of the third quarter. South still on the dribble. Gets it to Terry in the left corner. Gets it inside. Loses a handle, and that one's coming right at us. And it's going to go around, and I'm going to touch a basketball here tonight. How about those apples?
Well, it's about time you did something.
Oh, Troy Christian will keep the basketball with 40 seconds to go here. Chase Hayden gets it across the timeline, being guarded by Hamlin of the Bees. Schmidt over to Kilpatrick. Patrick gets it over to Spurlock. Spurlock going right to the basket. He's held as he was going to the basket on the right side by number 1, Tyler Terry. That's his first foul. That's going to send Spurlock to the line shooting 2. First go around, Mr. Spurlock missed them both. The first one's away, got it. More of our underwriters that make it all happen here on TCR Sports. Stanley Steamer, International College of Broadcasting, Pete Murray, State Farm Insurance, and Sound City Music. Thank you very much, folks. Spurlock's second attempt is no good. We got a whistle, and it looks like
Lane violation.
a lane violation against the Troy Christian Eagles, so even if it went, it wouldn't have counted anyways. Not sure who got called for that. We are on the far end, away from the Troy Christian offensive end. Bethel gets it out of bounds. We got a full court press now by the Eagles. Number 30 gets it in. Hamlin for 2 in the left corner. No good. Rebound. Chase Hayden. Spurlock going out. And Hamlin's going to get called for the foul for the Bees. 19 seconds. and a 10. Left to go here in the third quarter. It's a 44-23 lead for the Bees. After that first quarter, it's pretty much been all Bethel. Spurlock with the basketball. 16 seconds left to go in the third. Gets it over to Hartman. Hartman to Schmidt. Back to Spurlock. Back to Hayden. Back to Ben Schmidt. Spurlock on the drive. He's going right to the basket. He is going, did they call him for traveling or charge? We got 3 seconds left on the clock. Not sure what the call was. Whatever it was a turnover. It's going to be Bethel's ball with 3 seconds. Gets it inbounds at the buzzer. Throws it up, number 30. Way high off the glass. It doesn't go. At the end of 3 periods, it's the Bethel Bees 44, the Troy Christian Eagles 23. We'll be back for the fourth quarter right after these messages here on TCR Sports.
Jim Taylor's Troy Ford, 3230 South County Road, 25A, right here in Troy. 339-2687 or TroyFord.com. At Jim Taylor Troy Ford, you'll not only find low prices on great vehicles, but an award-winning service department as well. Jim Taylor's Troy Ford, 3230 South County Road, 25A, right here in Troy.
Welcome back to Bethel High School. We're getting ready for the fourth quarter. It's Bethel Bees leading our Troy Christian Eagles 44-23. And Doug, again,
sloppy period.
That was a sloppy period for both clubs.
For both clubs, but the Bees outscored the Eagles 15-8. They just added to their lead.
Bethel with the basketball, number 30. Still have not found out who that young man is. Not on our roster. Off the dribble, gets it back to South. South is being guarded by Hayden Hartman. Hartman against South. South just kind of dribbling away at the top of the key. Going to the left side. Nice move by the young man. Once he was able to get by Hartman, he split the defenders and added 2 more points to his total. Here comes the Eagles. Gets off in the far left corner to Dillahunt. Dillahunt back to Hartman. Hartman for 3. Rolls it around, no good. Rebound Bethel. Hamlin for the Bees, wearing number 14. Caleb South now with the dribble. He's still being guarded by Hartman. Ian Anderson with a big block, and Spurlock on a fast break by himself. Gets it up, misses a layup, and Bethel gets the rebound. Here comes the Bees on the fast break. Number 30, he gets tipped away. It's going to go out of bounds, and it's going to be Bethel's basketball. That one was coming right at us, Doug.
Yep, I was guarding the computer.
I was getting ready to grab Mr. Spurlock if he was starting to dive for it because.
Okay, the 2 big men are back in now, so we'll see if we play a little more in the paint to them.
Absolutely. Bethel with the ball out of bounds on the left side, kicks it all the way to the right side to Terry. Terry misses a 3-pointer, and then he gets called for the foul after Spurlock got the long rebound and started out with it.
His second. That's
his second. That's a 6th foul for the Bees. So the next foul, it'll put Troy Christian in the 1 in bonus. 6:50 left to go in the ball game. Pretty much been Bethel all the way here this evening. Hartman dribbling left. Anderson way outside on the far left side. Back to Hartman on the right. Anderson now back in the paint. Been watching the play inside and tipped away by South. South was able to head towards the basket, but he is fouled by Wynn. That's going to be Wynn's
second.
Yeah, but Seth Wynn's only his second foul, so that's a 16th foul for the Eagles. So both teams are going to be in the double bonus, or be in the bonus. They say South was shooting that basketball. Okay. First shot for Caleb South, he gets it to go. And he steps back up to the line, shoots his second one. Takes a couple dribbles, eyes it up, releases it, gets them both to go. 6:29 left, and there's a timeout on the floor. There's a full timeout on the floor, and we're going to take one too. We'll be back with more Troy Christian basketball action right here on TCR Sports.
Hi, I'm Tracy Bodey. If you're looking to experience quality service at a fair price, come see us at Bodey's Automotive. We're located right down the block from Walgreens at 407 Peters Avenue, or you can reach us at 937-703-1614 or like us on Facebook at Bodey's Automotive.
Welcome back to Bethel High School. Troy Christian Eagles are taking on the Bethel Bees. We're 6:29 left to go in the ball game, and Bethel's got a 48-23 lead over our Eagles. Troy Christian with the basketball. Seth Wynn on the dribble, gets it into Dillahunt on the right elbow. Dillahunt loses a handle, and here comes the Bees. Anderson gets it over to South. South pole stops, pops, got it. Nice. That's just a nice move by the young man on that one.
You like to see a jumper.
He was able to stop and pull it back and get it to go. Troy Christian with the basketball. Dillahunt on the left side. Dillahunt looking to go right. To Hartman. Hartman at the top of the circle. Still on the dribble. He's being guarded by Terry. Nowhere to go. Terry gets called for the foul.
Third foul for Terry.
So that's his third foul. That should send Hartman to the line shooting a 1 and bonus. Evans is in the ball game now. And number 5, White, is in there. And the first one is no good. They missed the front end of the 1-and-1. Here comes the Bees. Evans on the dribble. Number 30 has it. All the way across to Evans. Evans back to top the key. To White. Christian White now in the game for the Bees. Terry gets it into Hawthorne, and Hawthorne wasn't able to hang on to it.
That's
and
because James Anderson was there.
Anderson with good hands. Both big men have been battling it out in there. Neither one of them has been able to get the upper hand. Wynn on the drive. Nowhere to go. Kicks it out to Spurlock. Couldn't see what number that was. It's kind of shielded by one of the Bethel players, and it goes out of bounds off the Spurlock. Bethel basketball.
Actually, Anderson got his hands in there, trying to recover it.
Well, here comes the Bees. Across the timeline. Troy Christian's now in a 2-3 zone. At this point, they're just trying to get out of here. Gets it all the way over to White. White for a long 3, no good. Batted around. Nice save by Bethel. Another short one, no good. Rebound, Spurlock. Spurlock gets it up to Anderson. Anderson's on the run, back to Spurlock. No good. It's going to go off. Looks like number 10, Jacob Evans for the Bees, is going to remain Troy Christian's basketball. So Troy Christian will have it out of bounds underneath on the right side of their own basket. Get it into Anderson. Anderson picks it up, gives it to Dillahunt. Dillahunt way out almost to the timeline. Gets it to Wynn. Wynn into Anderson. Back to Wynn for 3. Long 3-pointer. Rolls it around. No good. Rebound Bethel. Bethel still has it. Kicks it inside. Off of Terry's foot. Terry gets it back, and then he is fouled. And that might be number 22, Seth Wynn. That is his third foul. And that's going to send Tyler Terry for the Bees to the line shooting 2. And the first one's away and hard off the bat, no good. I'd like to thank a few more of our underwriters that make it all happen here on TCR Sports. International College of Broadcasting, Heath Murray State Farm Insurance, Sound City Music, Excellence in Dentistry, and Willoughby's Hollow. Again, thank you very much, underwriters. Terry's second attempt rolls it around. He missed them both.
Shank with a rebound.
Then Shank's back in the ball game for the Eagles. Tanner also is in for the Eagles. Gets it over to Spurlock in the right corner. Back to Kilpatrick. Shank was looking to shoot that one. Wynn will shoot it for a long 3. Got it. 4 minutes even to go here. It's a 26-50 lead for the Bees. I said that in reverse, Doug.
Yeah, well, it took him a little over 2 minutes to score for the Eagles finally.
Bethel with the basketball and gets it up. A give and go by Hawthorne to Terry. Nice play by the big man for the Bees to give that one up. Troy Christian right back down in the back on the other end of the floor. All the way across. Win again for three. No good. In and out. Rebound Hawthorne for the Bees. And we got a 30-second timeout. We're going to take one, too, and we'll be back with more high school basketball action here on TCR Sports.
Jim Taylor's Troy Ford, 3230 South County Road, 25A, right here in Troy. 339-2687 or TroyFord.com. At Jim Taylor Troy Ford, you'll not only find low prices on great vehicles, but an award-winning service department as well. Jim Taylor's Troy Ford, 3230 South County Road, 25A, right here in Troy.
Welcome back to Bethel High School. Troy Christian Eagles take on the Bethel Bees. 3:28 left to go. 3 1/4 to go now in the ball game. And it's been all Bethel. It's a 52-26 lead. Bethel with the basketball. Across the timeline. Number 5 is now in, Christian White. Got number 11, Josh Willis is in for the Bees. Number 22, Connor Hockett is in. Hamlin takes a shot, rebound, Ben Schmidt. Here comes the Troy Christian Eagles. Gets across the timeline. Jacob Brown with it on the dribble.
Yep.
He is hit by number 30. Nope. Did you hear what his name was, Doug?
I think it was Wills.
Was Wills the one that got the foul on that one?
Yeah. Nope.
It was number 30. Whatever. Was Brown at the line shooting one in bonus. He misses the front end of that. And Bethel with the rebound.
A lot of kids out there now getting some minutes. This is
Hockett
good.
with the basketball. Over to White for the Bees. Back to the top of the key. Number 11, Willis. Willis on the dribble. Kicks it around to Hamlin. Back to Hockett for the Bees. Right side to Willis. Ball's tipped by
Hayden.
It was a tip by Hayden.
Yeah, he knocked that pass out.
Tipped by Chase Hayden out of bounds. Will remain Bethel's basketball. 2:30 left to go in the ball game. 52-26 lead for the Bees. Long shot, long three-pointer by
Willis
Josh Willis.
with a three.
Knocks it down for the Bees. Troy Christian with the basketball gets across the timeline. Ben Schmidt with the ball. Gets it to Brown at the top of the arc. Looks inside to Tanner. Tanner going right to the basket. Misses a left-handed layup. Here comes the Bees. Hamlin on the dribble. Still has it. Goes up the left side, around the corner, and gets it to go. Nice spin move by the young man, getting it to drop. 57-26. And Ben Schmidt gets called for the traveling turnover with 1:52 left to go in the ball game.
That's a 15-3 run in this quarter for the Bees.
Connor Hockey gets it across the timeline for the Bees. 30. Willis just knocked down a three, kicks on the left side, back to Hamlin at the top of the arc. Back to Willis on the left side. Gets it over to Hockett, number 22, on the dribble, all the way across to Kristen Wright. Gets it into Hockett. Hockett going right to the basketball, and he gets hit. Looks like number 10. That's going to go against Sam Kirkpatrick. That's his second foul. That's going to send him to the line shooting 2. First one's away, and he gets it to go. Josh Willis. Get ready for the second one. For the Bees. Releases. Gets that one to go also.
Willis kid on that three-pointer shot a ancient art of the one-handed push shot.
Yes, he did. Got it to go, though.
Oh. You see him on the line and you understand that he knows that shot.
Troy Christian with the basketball. Brown for a long three way downtown. Didn't get it to go. And nice save, nice hustle by Chase Hayden. Was able to knock it off of a Bethel player, and he gets it out of bounds underneath their own basket. Brown gets it into Kirkpatrick. Back to Brown. They're playing a kind of a give and go. All the way across to Tanner on the left side. After Kirkpatrick, around the horn it goes. Inside to Ben Schmidt. Schmidt takes it right up and around over
nice
top of
shot.
Hammer. Nice shot by number 34 for the Eagles. 48 seconds left to go here in the ball game. It's pretty much been all Bethel after that first period. Around the corner. Almost picked off by Tanner. Nice hustle by the young man. and it goes off the feet. Tanner right down on the ground, and a quick whistle with 33 seconds of jump ball, and it is Troy Christian's basketball.
Not much to say at this point with 33 seconds left and down by 31.
It's just been, Bethel has continued to increase the lead. Nice move by Jacob Brown, taking that right to the hole. 20 seconds left here in the ball game. At this point, Bethel's going to get it across the timeline, and that's going to probably just about do it. Neither team is going to contest it. They're going to let it run the clock out with 5 seconds left. 3. And that is the ball game. It pretty much was all Bethel down here this evening in the Beehive. The Bethel Bees took care of our Troy Christian Eagles 59-30. We'll be back with the post-game report right after these messages here on TCR Sports.
Hi, I'm Tracy Bodey. If you're looking to experience quality service at a fair price, come see us at Bodey's Automotive. We're located right down the block from Walgreens at 407 Peters Avenue, or you can reach us at 937-703-1614, or like us on Facebook at Bodey's Automotive.
Welcome back to Bethel High School on our first game back in the new year, getting ready to start our second half, or started the second half of our season, Doug, and unfortunately the Troy Christian Eagles came in here and played an extremely good Bethel B ball club and lost this thing tonight 59-30, and there's really not a lot we can say about the play. The first quarter we had some hopes. It was 6-4 at the end of the first frame, but then after that, Bethel Beach just kind of started creeping out and just ran away with it.
Well, they were outmanned. Okay,
absolutely,
no question about it.
Absolutely.
The one thing they can look to is Caleb South, who was averaging 25.6 points a game. Ouch, that hurt.
Yeah.
Was held to a mere 16 points. Mm-hmm. By my numbers, he had 11 assists. That was
right.
Passing up the good shot for the great shot. Ian Anderson had 14 for the Bees, and I don't know what's buzzing in my ear, but it hurts.
Yes.
We hope that that's not going into your radio ears there.
But anyways, continue.
Okay, 14 points for Ian Anderson. All of those were in the first half, where he was 4 for 4 from three-point line.
Right.
Offensively for the Eagles, there's not much we can say. Seth Wynn was the leading scorer with 9. Chase Hayden had 8. There was no way they could break that defense. There were too many big arms, too many big bodies, too many good players between them and the basket. A lot of shots were blocked. A lot of passes they couldn't get it into Anderson, or Anderson couldn't get free. I think he played the better part of one half. He wasn't feeling well, but he went up against one of the better big men that I have seen in the 2 years we've been doing that, Evan Hawthorne. They just decided they were going to have a battle royal on the boards. They did a good job. They blocked. Each of them had at least 3 blocks.
Yes.
Hawthorne had 1 point. Anderson did not score and only took 2 shots. That's the kind of defense they were putting on each other. Plus, for the Bees, they really didn't have to put it down into Anderson. They were knocking down threes right and left.
Yeah, and looking at the Bees, we really expected Remkus to come in and shoot the threes, and Anderson was the one that really got things started for Bethel tonight. He came in and knocked down 3 3-pointers pretty quick in that second quarter, and then from then on it was just a constant constant moving away from the Troy Christian Eagles.
Nate Remkus struggled in the first period, 1 of 2 in the second period, then found the range in the third period where he was 2 for
Yes,
because he knows the next one's going in.
that's right.
And if he misses that one, the next one's going in. That is how a shooter shoots.
Well, and I said, starting the second half of the season always after the first of the year, it's one of those things, everybody talks about, you got to get ready for tournament time. Hopefully some of the shooters, again, Luke Dillahunt has not found his range on the three-point shot yet. Kind of surprises me. Again, he's been ailing, but at this point, once you start into the second half of the season, there's no excuses. You got to get ready for tournament time, and it's you've got a young big man in the middle, and you're not shooting well. You're going to lose ball games.
Dillahunt's job was not to shoot this time around. He was principally
Tonight,
on
yes.
Caleb South.
I agree with that
He
tonight.
spent most of his time out there harassing South. When they switched somebody off, he was generally the right-hand point man on that box. So when South would get free, he was the one to double down on. At times, there were 3 Eagles on South when he tried
Right.
to work from a set offense. The transition is what killed him. In terms of South just getting the outlet pass from the top of the key from a defensive board, and then rushing up the court and driving the lane,
Right.
either drawing a foul, making the basket, or passing it out to one of his three-point shooters, be it Anderson or Remkus. Although the beauty was when he pulled up on that elbow,
That was a nice shot.
hit that sweet 12-foot jumper.
Now Bethel's going to be hard to handle when it comes tournament time. One thing about the Bees, and the coach and I talked about it, here before we did the coaches report, is Bethel moves up a division, so Troy Christian will not have to play these Bees again in the tournament time. But at this particular point in time, this game's nothing you can do about it. You lost 59-30. But we're getting ready, and they come right back on Saturday night, and the Troy Christian Eagles is heading over to Casstown area to take on the Miami East Vikings. So
We're going to Casstown?
We're going to Casstown.
The bright lights, the big city.
The big city of Casstown over to the Miami East that'll take on the Vikings. And again, Coach has got a few days to get the kids ready to play against the Vikings. So
I think that's it. Stick a fork in us. We're done.
yeah, for David Denoyer, our video man, I appreciate it, David, and Kyle Matthews back at the station. We appreciate all you guys' help here tonight, and we will talk to you soon. We'll see you Saturday night, coming to you live from Miami East High School, where the Troy Christian Eagles will be taking on the Miami East Vikings. Good night, everybody.
Good night, all the ships at sea.